Afternoon. I've got a few minutes to spare, so I'm going to read you this leaflet that I received in London, and it's interesting. It's a petition, so you'd probably have to go online to find it. A petition: reject the Chinese Communist Party. If the global system had insisted on transparency and accountability, we would not have this coronavirus now. David Matas, human rights lawyer and Nobel Peace Prize nominee. The CCP is directly responsible for the current global pandemic that has caused a staggering death toll and the loss of businesses, jobs and income. The communist regime lied about the origin of the outbreak and covered it up, depriving the world of 6 valuable weeks to prepare. The outbreak could have been reduced by 95% had the communist government acted sooner, according to a study published by the University of Southampton. Crushing Hong Kong democracy. In 2019, the Hong Kong government's amendments to the controversial extradition bill sparked protests, which met with pepper spray, smoke bombs, bag bullets, rubber bullets from the police. A year later, the CCP imposed a national security law on Hong Kong. Its Article 38 states that the law is applicable to every individual, including those outside of and not from Hong Kong. The law destroys Hong Kong's autonomy and proves that the Chinese Communist Party commitments to the 1984 Sino-British Joint Declaration and the Basic Law are empty words. Infiltrating and undermining other nations. For decades, the Chinese Communist Party has infiltrated not only international organizations, but also institutions of countries around the world, including universities, news media and governing bodies, undermining economies, national security and moral fabric of these nations. What the Chinese Communist Party does, which is a very deliberate strategy, carefully worked out and widely practiced, is to use the institutions of democracy, which they don't have a democracy, such as the free press, free association, elections and so on, to increase the power of a foreign nation over the sovereignty decision-making of other countries. This is Clive Hamilton, co-author of Hidden Hand. What is the Chinese Communist Party? It is a Marxist-Leninist organization with totalitarian ideology. It seeks total control over people's lives. That was written by U.S. National Security Advisor Robert C. O'Brien. The Chinese Communist Party relies on a toxic brew of lies and fear to maintain power and control over its people, and this is why it has hidden the truth from the moment the virus first hit. Tom Tugendhat, chairman of UK Foreign Affairs Select Committee. The Chinese Communist Party has never stopped attempting to infiltrate our systems or compromise our intelligence and dominated the infrastructure on which our daily lives depend. That is Damien Green, MP, former First Secretary of State. The UK should impose targeted Magnitsky sanctions on Chinese officials responsible for human rights violation in mainland China and Hong Kong, said Benedict Rogers, co-founder of the Conservative Party Human Rights Commission. The Chinese Communist Party's cover-up has led to the pandemic that now kills people around the globe. Covering up of the virus is only the tip of the iceberg. For decades, the Chinese Communist Party has been actively undermining the economies, national security and moral fabric of nations around the world. See through the deception and keep yourself and your family truly informed, and let's reject the Chinese Communist Party. Sign the petition and scan me, rejectccp.com. Reject the Communist Party. So I will give that information. I'll show it you now. Sorry. I'm sure you can go online and find the truth about that leaflet. I certainly do feel you need to hear about it because you weren't at Trafalgar Square where I was. So there you go. Try and find it. Do your research, and I'm going to look for the petition. It was just amongst the papers that I'd got, and I only just found it. So it's important, especially as they've made so many people ill with their man-made COVID-19 coronavirus. All sign the petition because they'll want to take over us soon, like they're doing terrible things to their own people. Especially if you're originally from Turkey and you live there, you're persecuted. Separating men from women, children from family. Oh, they're treating them like slaves. No, we don't want anything communist. No Chinese. Nothing. Not when they behave like they do. The governors, I mean. I don't mean the ordinary people. They're like us. They're misused. God bless.